Old School Bodybuilding Clothing Company. If it's been 3.5 hours since you last ate protein, and now you're starting to freak out, you are old school. If watching someone sit on a hammer machine for 5 minutes between sets playing with their phone pisses you off, you are definitely old school. OSBBC.com for the hardest training athletes.
You're funny.
Like I said, do you like my tail?
Like I said. Welcome back to Iron Rage, where I'd love to rage today, but my voice is shot. I have laryngitis, but joining us today might be one of my most fun shows that I have anticipated for the entire year. Joining us today, or joining Lee and I today, is King Kamali. Welcome to the show. Lee has promised me that you will be grossed out, completely absurdly horrified by whatever he says today. So,
are we having a gross out competition? Is that what it is today?
It's a gross out today, yeah. It's a gross.
I don't think it's actually gross. When I think about life,
King, you know Greg Valentino very well, obviously.
Yes, I do.
You hung out with him for years and stuff like that. And Greg told this story on After Hours. I don't know if you heard it, about how he was having oral sex with this girl, and he used to chew gum a lot, and his gum got caught in her pubic hair, and she was pissed off because she had to shave it off, and he likes hairy bushes. And so he was telling this story and all this grossness. He was telling how he got he was going down on a girl and giving her oral sex, and she had a yeast infection, and
my God.
As only Greg could tell a story. So Lee, not to be outdone, sent me a text message about something that he did, and I could assure you that it is grosser than Greg. So we'll start the show off. I want Lee to tell this story first, and then I want to get your opinion on it. And since you know Greg, I'll let you be the official judge here on Iron Rage here today, as to who actually is the grosser human being, Lee or Greg Valentino. Okay.
Okay. I'm ready for this, man. Let's do it.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'll warm up with a pre-story. Here's a pre-story. I brought this girl home from school, right? And my sister wasn't home, so I took her in the bedroom, and same thing. I went down on her, right? And as I'm down there, I get this taste like iron. Like you've been eating liver. And I'm like, wonder what that is. So I finished going down, and I walked out, and my sister come home. My sister looks at me like this. What's that? And I'm like, what? She goes, what's on your face? I go in the bathroom. I swear to God, I look like Heath Ledger from the Joker. It looked like I probably tried to stuff a large pizza with marinara sauce in my mouth all at once. I had this just red all up here like this. But that's not the bad story. Here's the story. Okay, Greg had yeast infection. Okay, well, here's mine. An ex of mine, and that we're in a hotel room, and we're getting horny as it is. You're just playing around and stuff. And I think, let's have sex. And she goes, oh, I can't. I'm on my period. And me, I'm like, who cares? Let's play pretend. Let's pretend you're a virgin. If we have sex and you bleed, I'm the first. Let's play the virgin game. But okay, so she goes, I'm on my period and that. And she goes, oh, okay then. Okay, let's do it, because we're in a hotel room. We're going, it's not our sheets or whatever. So she goes, but first, hold on. I got a tampon. I'll have to go take it out. And at this moment, I'm already in the, throes of ecstasy and love and passion and lust. And, I'm making it sound good. I said, forget the tampon. So I start going down on her, right? So I go down on her. I get down there, and there's the little mousy tail hanging out. So I'm like, I don't care. I grab it with my teeth and I pull it out. So I pull the tampon out of my teeth. I go back up. I put the tampon fully loaded like a vampire's tea bag. I put it in my mouth. No. And then I go up and I kiss her. And as we're passionately kissing, we're passing the tampon back and forth in our mouth. And then I stop kissing her. I go start kissing down. I still got the tampon here. I take it out and I squeeze the blood out of it over her nipples, and I lick it off. There you go, Valentino. I think I got your beat there almost. What do you think of that?
It's different.
I think I'm gonna throw up.
I'll let King judge who had the better story.
He left. He went to throw up, I think. I don't hear you. I think his microphone died from that story. Where's King? He's trying to talk. I think I can't hear it. It's not going through.
I can hear him. I can vaguely hear King quietly.
King, re-click on that link. Re-click on the link. I'll tell you something. Let me give you my feedback, even though my voice is shot. Greg did go down on this girl when she had a yeast infection, which could be construed as more gross than blood.
Really gross in very different ways.
Actually,
I
believe he said she had a chlamydia too, didn't he, Tyler? It might have been a dual chlamydia / yeast infection, and I believe he went to both orifices down there too.
What he did is freakier, but his is more.
Yours might be freakier. Yeah, I don't know if yours is more disgusting.
I've had sex with a girl, and when you're sort of finger popping them, that's a good word. And I come up and I got I thought I'd been playing in Play-Doh Perkins' face. That's what his white stuff. But here's this, right? I love it when sometimes a girl might know she has a yeast infection and you're having sex with her, right? And you have sex with her, you're doing whatever, and you might go to change position and she looks down and sees all the white stuff over your fucking balls. It's all gathered up there like you've been banging a bowl of fucking cottage cheese. And she goes, oh, look at that. And she looks down, and because she's probably embarrassed knowing it's a yeast infection, she goes, oh, look, I've come all over your cock. I'm thinking, come, that's yeast infection, you dirty bitch. That ain't come.
Now,
but they try and...
Would that be like an aphrodisiac for you? Would you actually enjoy the act more, knowing that was a yeast infection and there was more lubrication in there?
Well, I try and scrape it up and save it. Then I go in the kitchen and make some bread. I call it cunt loaf. It's very nice.
Don't play that song. He's got this new theme song.
I won't. I can hear King there. King's very quiet. I can hear him though.
I don't think he can. I don't think something with his connection's not working.
I can hear you quietly, but I don't think Dave can.
So quietly, super quietly.
King, are you there?
I'm here, man.
Oh, your volume is very low for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, I'm
Take that headset off. Take the headset.
Off.
Pull the headset out.
Yank it out.
Pull it out.
Even worse. What a mess.
Hold on.
Good work. Now he's gone, Dave.
Now we can't hear him at all. You might have to change the settings on whatever we're using, Zoom. You might have to choose the new audio output on Zoom.
The new audio output.
Yeah. I still think Greg's might be more gross. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, come on.
Because Greg
Yeast
was doing
is nothing.
Greg was
Yeast-
doing
yeast
Greg was doing anal, disgusting stuff too. So I don't know if yours wasn't quite. I mean, I guess
I've told you about the time I was with another girl and we wanted to have anal sex, and she's like, "Oh, before we do that, I got to go down there and clean out and stuff." I'm like, "Oh, whatever. Here we go." So you buy those little enema kits for cleaning out where they squeeze the bottle of stuff up there and stuff. And again, wait 20 minutes. Come 10 minutes, I'm like, "I'm ready to go. Let's go." So we get in the shower, and I'm going to town in the anal passage in the shower. And as this happens, guess what? 20 minutes is kicking in. So as I'm going like this, I'm suddenly like a pig in mud and shit's coming out as I'm going like this.
All right, you win.
And I remember shit's hitting the wall, shit's hitting the shower curtain, but I don't care. It's fun. I'm just bum, 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 bum. I come, and this is true. You know what it's like when you come, I shoot my load, and all of a sudden, as I'm holding it, I shoot the load, and then I'm like, then I open my eyes from the cum face, and I'm like, what's that smell? Oh, fucking shit. Oh, this is fucking disgusting. But in the moment before that part, it was the greatest thing ever. But once you shoot your load, it's like, oh, fucking hell, what a fucking mess.
At
I
least
should have waited the 20 minutes.
At least you were in the shower. It just you could kind of wash it off, I guess.
I
right?
can hear King back there, but he's very quiet.
It's the smell. The smell is what gets to me.
All right, King. Now that we solved our technical difficulty, having heard that story from Lee and the follow-up story, just to make sure it was gross enough.
Right.
Who is grosser, Lee or Greg? And in your estimation,
I'd say it's pretty equal in the disgusting level. They're both pretty up there. But I've done the whole period thing going down on a girl. I've done that too. Okay, but I've never taken the tampon out and squished it on the nipple and licked the blood off. That's next level vampire shit.
You're just not a romantic like me.
that's right.
So now listen, the question I have for Lee is, okay, look, everybody's got their freak levels, and obviously Lee's freak levels up here.
Yeah.
I mean, I got my little things too. But the smell, for me, it always comes down to smell,
me too.
man. If I smell something wrong, I'm out of there.
Me too.
I don't care if it's fucking the hottest bitch in the world. It's a smell thing for me. How did you do it, Lee? How do you do it, man?
Clothespin on his nose.
That smell. What didn't smell too bad, I'm sure, I've seen pads and that late at the end of that period when the blood's going that browny color and stuff, and has more of a smell. But while it's still flowing, the river's red. It's not too bad.
I'm not talking about the period smell.
Oh, the shit!
Yeast infection and shit.
Well, it's like the smell of cum. It smells like ammonia for some reason. It smells like someone's been bleaching the bathroom. Sometimes you're like,
it smells like cheese.
But the funny thing was, though, since you mentioned smell, at the end of all this, right, I said, you know what? I had a fruit bowl. I'm not going down the Kai Green Road, but I had a fruit bowl beside me. And we had a banana. This is sort of like the rack thing of quarters we talked about once before, Dave.
Yes.
I had the banana. I said, this is great. Let's put the banana and use it like a dildo. So I'm using the banana like a dildo.
Is this on the period girl? Is this the period girl?
Yeah.
So you're going to make a strawberry shortcake out of it, so to speak, right?
Banana split.
Oh, banana split. I got you. All right.
It's got the strawberry topping, and then I add the cream. So I'm putting the banana in. But as you know, the body heats up. So as you're doing the banana in, it's getting mushy. So the banana's going in. It's not coming out the same. So all of a sudden, the banana disappears. I'm like fucking the magicians in Vegas, like fucking Lance Burton. No banana. That's okay. So now it's time to have sex. So I put the old fella in. And now, as we're having sex, I know I'm squashing that banana in there as we're pumping away. And at this time, King, there's this beautiful banana smell coming out. So it's not too bad. And it's all over, right? It's all over. This is the funny thing. Now she's squatting on the bed, fingers up there, trying to pull the banana out, and everything else is coming out. But she doesn't get it all out. And the next day I get a text, because she used to take aerobics classes and spin classes. She's like, you fucking asshole. I'm taking my spin class today, and all I can smell is fucking banana. I can feel it coming out of me while I'm riding the bike.
I guess it's better than period smell, right? Yeah. Did we lose King again?
Yes.
Oh man.
I can hear him. I can hear him again.
Now he's like very low volume again. Something's going on here. All right, we got King back here now, full time. We got him on his phone. My question to you guys is, when you do stuff like that, do you notice a difference, Lee? King, you can comment on this too. When you're on a cycle versus off a cycle, like when I was off a cycle, I would be horrified to even you would never even think of doing something like that. And then when you're on a cycle, you become you get like that porn star mentality almost.
No, I've always been the same. I've always been demented on or off.
You've always been a sexual
I look up to the greats like Jeffrey Dahmer and all these other type of people in my life. Son of Sam, the Hillside Strangler. American Psycho was a wonderful movie.
For me, it's always the test sip. If I'm on sip, I'm on another planet.
Yeah.
I'm uncontrollable when I'm on test sip. But coming off, I made the mistake when I was younger. I never did the PCT like I was supposed to.
Right.
Because I thought I was Superman and all that shit. And until I met Chad's the first person who actually started to teach me how to do the full cycle treatments and
Right.
stuff. But HCG, Clomid, once you get that stuff going, you kind of come back, but there's no feeling in the world like being on that fucking test.
No.
You're a completely different animal when you're on that.
And how about, you guys are from the 90s. Lee probably never did this, but I'm sure King, I know you probably did it. Used to be able to go into the nutrition stores and buy GHB. They would actually sell it, to go to sleep, nutrient, and there was a whole bunch of different. And you take that and talk about, wanting to be a porn star. You would get some serious deviant ideas on that stuff too. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, the Renutrient was, I don't know if you heard the stories, Dave or Lee, but the people were breaking into this nutrition stores and not stealing the money, not stealing anything, but just the Renutrient. That's it. That's all they were fucking taking. But going into those G holes. I remember seeing people take too much of it. Yeah. And then they would just go into this hole and they'll be out. And then they'll suddenly wake up and start apologizing to everybody. I'm sorry. But yeah, definitely put you in a zone.
But for some reason, GHB raised your sex drive like through the roof, and you started like having these you could be with the ugliest girl, and all of a sudden she's like gorgeous, and then the stuff would wear off, and you'd be like, "What the hell was I thinking?" That it would do that kind of stuff to you.
The few times I felt like a porn star was when I used a little bit of cocaine. Jesus, I was even a porn star with myself when I was on cocaine.
Well, we heard, you tied your penis to a chair or something like that?
Coffee table.
A coffee table, right.
Coffee table.
What, King?
The good old days.
King went to a lot of King probably went to more clubs than all of us in the day. What was some of the and it probably wasn't, it didn't have to be like a star bodybuilder. What was some of the craziest thing you've seen like people do in the clubs? Like, that like, you're just like, what the fuck's wrong with these people?
Orgies in the bathrooms. Straight guys, absolutely straight guys, fucked out of their minds, getting blowjobs from trainees. That's what I saw a lot. That one blew me away because I was like, damn, I just saw this kid probably a few hours ago at a show or something like that, and he looked so with his girlfriend. Next thing you know, he's in the bathroom getting blown by some dude.
I was a tranny. It looked like a girl. That's all that counts. As long as you see the long flowing hair.
In New York, you can't tell the difference. They're that fucking pretty.
It don't count then. It don't count then. That's a girl.
I'll tell you who.
I've been with some girls that look like men. So if it's a guy that looks like a girl, I'll take it.
The one person who can tell you without a question or a doubt about if it's a girl or a guy is Victor Martinez.
Victor
Martinez always knew. Victor, is that a guy or a girl? Yo, it's a dude.
He had the biggest tranny door on the planet, man. He sees them from 10 miles away.
You couldn't trick him. No way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. It's all good. So what do you think of the whole idea of the way bodybuilding shows, King, have turned into these basically, and some of it's due to COVID, some is due just because there's a lot of divisions now, where it's basically like you go there, prejudging finals, you're out of there. There's no audience, no one cares. There's only a photographer there to take pictures and even document what's going on. There's no more like showmanship. There's no more, aside from the Olympia and maybe some of the top shows. It's just almost like a round them up, get on stage, pay your money, and then get your pro card, when you leave, that type of thing.
It's the death of bodybuilding.
Is it the death or is it the?
Listen, we're in a no-win situation. Okay, here's the problem with old school OGs like us.
Yeah.
If we start to complain, the kids say you're just hating on everybody now.
Right.
You're disgruntled, you're angry, you're this and that.
Right.
And then I turn around and say to them, no, that's not true. I appreciate Hunter Labrada. I think he looks great. And I give him all the credit in the world. I like the young guys coming up. But there was a time, as we discussed last time, when Lee Priest showed up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was like the Pope coming into town.
Right.
The place went crazy. When it was time to, people didn't give a shit. They wanted to see the guest poser like it was a rock star coming into town. And it was insane. And the feeling you got when you walked out, like the goosebumps you get before you walk out was the most unbelievable feeling. I'll try to explain this to people. It was something else. Now it is dead. I mean, that's the only way to describe it.
But why? What's the solution?
I'm still a warrior in the sport.
What's the solution? Back in the day, they would have the women's nationals one weekend, and they would have the men's nationals another weekend, and they would be both sold out. Why are we jamming everything into one weekend? Is that the problem? Is it too much? Are we doing too much in one weekend?
Let Lee take this one.
I'm not sure. I think sadly it's like a catch-22. I think social media's got a big thing to do with it, because I remember here back in the day when we would have contests on, we would have the contests in the classes and the awards would be given out at the end. And everyone, even if you got your award early, say I was on early in like a different weight class before I turned pro, I'd get my award, I'd go sit in the audience and I'd support everyone else that was competing. You'd wait there, you'd watch the other classes, see who was in the light heavies, the super heavies. You'd watch the overall, you'd sit there and encourage them and watch them. Now, the show's here, say a guy does his middleweight class, he goes on, does his thing, does his posing, gets his award, comes off stage, takes some photos with his family and friends, then he leaves. Next you see him, he's taking photos out at McDonald's. Here I am, I just won a show. It's like every time the class finishes, they don't care about supporting anyone else anymore. It's like, I got my trophy, I'm going to do some photos for Instagram, I'm off now. So by the time the last classes come on, there's hardly no one in the audience. Everyone's left because no one cares. It's all about me, personal gratification now. They're not there to support anyone else. It's just about them and their achievements. Look, here's my pictures on Instagram. Maybe if they got a friend. I've seen some people who even have friends who, like, say a guy competes in the lightweight, his friend's in the heavyweight. He leaves. He doesn't even watch him. I'll see your pictures online when you're finished. There's just none of that comradeship anymore where people stay there support him. Even if you didn't like people, you'd still stay and watch the show to the very end of the show. But now people, girls too, when they've done their bikini classes, take off, get their photos. You see them outside taking photos. And then while the show's still on, if you look at their Instagram page, here they are at the Cheesecake Factory and the contest is still going. But because their class is over, they've just left. No one just stays there to support anyone anymore. It's just all about them and what they've done, and off they go.
Back in the day, if you had to find a diner that was open 24 hours because the show would be over and everyone would still be there and we'd all leave together and then we'd have to find a place to eat. You know?
Well, it's funny how Guy Grundy and I finally remembered, or someone reminded us, was that King probably remember the Rocky Cola Cafe down at Redondo Beach after the Ironman? Everyone would go to the Rocky Cola Cafe.
Did you know that place, King?
I did. I missed that whole. I mean, I was listening to you guys talk about it that time. I missed that whole thing. The Max Muscle, the Hot Skin store, the whole strip, the Firehouse. The Lee just said it best right now. The camaraderie, the brotherhood. You know, there was a brotherhood between us. And even Craig and I, who hated each other's guts, there was still a brotherhood there. You know, that you're USA champion and I'm national champion. You killed yourself to get to this point. You got to have that respect. But I don't know, Dave. I don't know. I mean, Lee's right. It's a catch-22. The promoters need to make money because they weren't making money before. Maybe only a couple of them did.
Right.
Now they're making money, but it's destroying the actual concept of our sport. You got to stick around. You got to give respect to these people. And in bodybuilding, I mean, remember the days, Dave, of 40 middleweights,
right?
60 light heavyweights, and there were not that many heavyweights because that's just the way bodybuilding was. It was light heavyweights and the middleweights, but you just don't have that. Even the teams, my God, we used to have 20 teenagers.
I know. But you know what? Do you think that if they decided, hey, you know what? We have a lot of people in these shows. Bodybuilding is what started this whole thing. That's what it's about. What if we split the bodybuilding off from the rest of it? So I'll hold the National Bodybuilding Championships as a standalone by itself show. I think it would do very well. I think it would still sell tickets. I think people would go to it. I think it would be more enjoyable. And, let everything else go together, on its own day, or maybe split the men and women off. I don't know. But I think there's so much going on at one show that you really can't. No one in their right mind could sit there for 18 hours a day and watch everything. It's just too much.
Well, I think you could keep like things that are similar. Keep the bodybuilding and the classic, because classic's similar to bodybuilding.
Right,
just
that's true. Okay.
a scale down. So keep bodybuilding and classic, and keep the women's physique with the bodybuilding. So there's 3 you could keep together, and then the things like men's physique, bikini, and all those sort of things, keep them on a different day or a different weekend. Then you can have the hardcore ones that want to see the bodybuilding, the classic, and the women's physique. The more muscular ones go to that shows. And then the other ones who want to see the more bikini, men's physique, and that sort of stuff, go to those shows. So,
I guess they kind of do. They kind of do it now.
Reward. Make sure that there's rewards. There's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Okay, for us, when we were going up into the NPC ranks, and our goal, yes, was to turn pro, but our bigger goal, our number one goal was what? To get a reader contract.
Yeah.
To get a contract. Nowadays, the girl who has 2 million followers, who's, putting up her pictures of her brushing her teeth and scratching her ass and, picking her eyes or whatever it is.
No, you forgot the famous photo. The famous photo of the protein drink near the boobies, like this. Look at my protein drink. You're really looking at my boobies, but look at the protein drink here. It's like so many times when I see these pictures, look, I don't, where a mind goes, and I always laugh at the men's comments when you can have a girl fitness champion or whatever, bikini champion, or even just some other girl who's not a pro yet, and all their pictures are like them doing stiff-legged deadlifts, and they're bent over in these little tights, and all you see is the money pouch, and everyone goes, "Oh, your hamstrings look great." I'm thinking, oh, fuck off. Just say, nice box, nice ass. Say I'd like to hit it. Because that's where the male mind's going when the girl's bent over. We're not thinking, oh, look at that calf tie-in. Fuck off. You're looking straight at the fucking pussy there to things like a money...
Lee, the reason why they don't say that is because every guy who comments on these pictures thinks that the girl's going to be attracted.
Well, they
to
should
them
say it,
and is going to hook up with them.
Well, they should say it.
Yeah.
Let them know what they're doing, because you should say that. If she puts a big picture up like this and her titties like this, just say nice tits. It's like back in the day, we used to wear tights, but we'd try and tuck ourselves down, or you'd try maybe have your t-shirt pulled through your belt to cover your block and tackle down there. Could you imagine if we did our chest presses and Chris Lund took a photo and your slongs hanging down the left side of your leg and shit? It's like no one's going to be looking at you doing the dumbbell press. Going to be like, oh, look, we can see his cock. Look, he's circumcised. No, he's not. Yes, he is. It's like
you couldn't do that shit with Chris Lund anyway, man. That son of a bitch with his heavy ass weight. Come on, King, go heavier.
Yeah. Exactly. Hold it. Now go down a little bit more. Hold it. Come back up.
The way Chris Lund would get you is he would tell you that another bodybuilder did. Jay Cutler did the 200-pound dumbbell presses. Yeah. I'm like, good for him, man. I don't care.
I did a photo shoot with Lund with Ronnie Coleman, Rico McClinton, and Aaron Madron, and I was right after the Arnold Classic, and we were at this gym. And the guy said, all right, warm up. Lund said, warm up. Ronnie grabbed the 140s to warm up. I looked over at Rico and Aaron. I'm like, is he fucking kidding me? And they're like, no, man, you got if you're going to do a photo shoot with Ronnie, you got to pay the price. And boy, we paid the fucking price. My elbow, Dave, hurt for fucking 3 goddamn years. My elbow hurt after that.
And you'd always hear Chris Lund go, magic, that's it, magic. But like I said, the worst thing was, like I said, say you're doing the heavy squats and, it'd say, take your shirt off. Well, I've got to have my shirt off doing squats, and you cover it in oil so the bar's sliding, you start going down. Oh, just hold it there. Can you just come up an inch? And you've got 5 or 6 plates on. I'll come up an inch. Okay. Now go down 2 inches. Oh, okay. Now come. It's like, what the fuck? How about I just do the reps nice and slow, and you just shoot away as I'm doing the reps, because that's stopping and starting was murder.
Weights too, man. Get the fake weights out. I'm done with this heavy ass.
Wasn't it funny when you finally, I think it was Robert Reef, and then finally started using those fake weights, and you get a dumbbell that looked 140 and it weighed 20 pounds, and you're like, but the thing with that was, I always found it hard to put on a grimace. Robert Reef would go, make it look like you're struggling. And every time I did, he goes, Lee, it looks like you're laughing or you're smiling. I said, well, I I can't fake this grimace. He goes, it looks like you're laughing with a 140-pound dumbbell or something. I said, I can't do the fake.
Yeah, you're right, man. It was hard.
Do you remember, you used to do a lot of good photo shoots too with Ralph DeHaan over at that, was it the Marina Pacific Gym?
Yeah.
Over there in Marina. There was another old guy there that used to run it called Joe, an older guy called Joe, and that used to be a good gym over there. The Marina Athletic Club, wasn't it? It was pretty good.
The purple lights and the purple on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
You know, it's funny, but
They
nowadays,
were fun times.
do they even do photo shoots nowadays with any guys? For what? Where would it appear?
No,
right?
Everyone does them themselves now because they got Photoshop.
Yeah, right, exactly. But when
And
you,
As bad as-
another thing. How about the iconic pictures? What happened to the icon? Remember Kevin laying on the ground and you can see the fucking cross
Right.
on his cross. This might not be an iconic picture of you, Lee, but for some reason it has always stuck in my head. When you were sitting outside of Venice on a beach chair, flexing your abs,
that one just came up. That one just came up the other day.
Why. From childhood, it has stuck to my head. That was
picture,
I mean, you don't
was doing a
see
photo
iconic
shoot.
pictures anymore, man.
I was doing a photo shoot with Dave might be able to find that. Tyler, pull it up. Yeah, I did a photo shoot with Paul Dillette. That was at the Club Metrics gym down there, and I was sitting outside the back doors. I think Chris Lunn was doing that photo shoot too down there at Club Metrics down there in Costa Mesa. I was with Paul Dillette, and I just went to sit out the back. And I sat in that little, like the little chair because I'm little, and I'm just sitting there leaning back like that, and all the abs and the veins are out. I'm just sitting there. That popped up the other day. Yeah, that popped up the other day.
Lee, you know why there's so many great photo shoots of you and great photos out there? Because you were one of the few bodybuilders who never complained and always would do any photographer wanted to shoot you, you shot with them. David Paul. So there's so many great pictures of you out there. Whereas a lot of these guys, I remember Bleckman told me it was impossible to get Dexter to do like photo shoots after show. He didn't want to be bothered. He just wanted to go eat, you know. And so there's a lot of pictures because he competed for so many years, but there's not a ton of pictures of Dexter out there. For the
which could be a good thing because if I had $1 for every time that one of me and Tom Platz pops up, with Tom Platz is like, and I'm doing my tricep. But because there is so many good ones, like trust me, my fans remind me and send them to me, and they're like, "Oh, thanks, Lee. This picture's so inspirational." They send it to me. I look at it. And I get fucking depressed. I'm like, oh fuck, look how good I used to look. And then I'm like, I remember that day. That was in '93. How long ago was that? Oh fucking hell. Well, I knew I was getting old the other day, so I had to fill out this thing. And I almost got a thumb cramp where you got to put in 6th of July. Oh, you got to get to your birth date. And I'm fucking scrolling. I'm like, where the hell's my fucking scrolling? I'm like, how far back do I live? Well, when was I born?
you know what? The real good photo shoots too are the ones where they had like two guys training together.
Mm-hmm.
I thought those were really cool because it was like you got to see both guys, at their best right after a show, ripped, all tanned up and oiled, and I mean that's the pinnacle of what if you want to like be inspired to want to go to the gym and train hard. I mean, those pictures were great. Matter of fact. There was a magazine called Muscle Training Illustrated, and Bob Grushkin shot a lot of those pictures in there, and he would shoot all his guys after the shows. And I remember there was a guy, it might have been Victor Terra, he was on the ground stretching. He was doing like a hurdless stretch, and his quads, they looked like they were like 35 inches. They probably were like 28 inches or something like that because he was short. But I said, that's what I want. I remember that picture in my head. It's still burned in there. That's what I want my legs to look like that.
You know which one I remember in my head when I was young? I even went and brought the little tennis shorts, and that was the one of Tom Platz riding down Venice Beach on the 10-speed bike. He's on the bike, and his legs are massive in those little tennis shorts. I even went and brought tennis shorts when I was young. My legs didn't look like his in them, but maybe I should have played tennis. I would have made. I got a good idea. I got a good idea, Dave, for you and King.
Wow.
We're going to come up with a new segment that we should start called "I'll be the judge of that." Okay, where you and King can like a Judge Judy, and I'm going to give my verdict and I'm going to give my opinion. On topics because I have the official badge to do this.
Oh, nice.
Nice, thank you. And for this segment, I shall put on.
Is that your Magneto mask?
I'm Judge Dredd. It's on my
Okay.
Judge Dredd. Look, I got my dread.
Very nice.
Actually, I think, didn't King have a helmet like this guest posing one?
I
Yes, he
did.
did.
And
He
I
did.
had my fucked up helmets. Yes, I did.
I was just going to say that one of the best, and
Hold on.
I'm not saying this because you're here, one of the best guest posers out there, if you wanted to be entertained, King Kamali, although he was never in shape in the off season, but if you caught him close to a show, he gave you your money's worth, that's for sure.
Hold on, I'm reenacting it. For those of you that don't have a VHS player, I'll reenact King guest posing.
No one did
And
it
you gotta
better.
do that. You gotta do the ass wiggle, man. The ass wiggle. That's what I.
I'm doing that. I'm doing that sitting down.
Look, let me tell you something. Vince Taylor was the first guy to do the Terminator routine, right? But,
Oh, yes.
But King took it to the next level, I think. And it just, you weren't Vince Taylor, but I think you were more entertaining at what you were doing on stage with that routine.
Yeah, Vince was my inspiration, and I used to, as a kid, I used to go to these shows, and I would, wait for the posing routines, and I'm like, why are these guys posing to slow music? I just don't understand why they're posing this. Then I got it once in a while, like a Melvin. He would come in there and he would do what he had to do and what have you. But I always thought it was entertaining, and it was Lee Haney. Lee Haney was the one who gave me the best advice ever, to be honest with you. And he said, be entertaining, make money, win the fans over, and be entertaining. Not everybody's a Phil Heath.
Yep.
Not everybody's a big Ramy, but you can make money and you can have fans. Shit, I used to always tell people, Paul, the guy who used to own Muscle Tech, he would come and just watch us, and here's Jay's line all around the corner at the Arnold Classic. My line was just as long as his. And he would just look and just like, damn. And I was like, yeah, it's because half the people here hate me. Half the people here love me, but they still want to stand in line and take a picture.
Right.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling of the haters, but yes, the haters, they secretly love us all. Do you remember this story? I told Dave this story a few times when you and Craig had that feud going. And I'm pretty sure it was the Iron Man you were in, and then the following week or two was the Arnold, and you were backstage, and Craig had some biscuits, like cookies, and he's giving them to people. And I think you were feuding at the time. He said, Lee, do you want some? I said, I'll take one. Then he turned to you and said, King, do you want some? And then he looked at you and goes, no, you're not in shape. You better not have any. And you sort of had these little words and that. You sort of pacing back and forth. And then the following week, same thing happened. I was laying on the ground and you were just starting to pump up. And because he said you weren't in shape the week before, he's like, are you in shape this week, King? And when you took your shirt off, he looked over, he goes, nah, you're not fucking in shape again. And I think, they're going to start. You probably don't remember, but I remember laughing because I think, Craig's trying to start shit backstage already.
Craig, I've said this to Dave all the time. Craig was the best because we're standing on stage and we get a comparison. All I had to say is one word on stage, and he would completely lose it. We're standing there. Mannion would say, okay, front double bicep. Right when we get into it, I'll go, ball. That's it.
Oh, yeah. He was very,
Fuck you, motherfucker. And then the whole time, Melvin's laughing. I'm not. Everyone's laughing. Tom Brady's laughing. Just because I said ball.
And the funny thing is, Kamali's hairline is down to his nose, and Craig was really losing his hair, which was terrible, so.
I tell that to people all the time. I got a 2 head. 2, not a 4. I got a 2 head. My hairline isn't going anywhere.
Your hairline was literally to your eyebrows. I don't know how you did it, but
That's a good thing back in those days. Craig had a small sports car and you couldn't fit in the trunk, or you might have ended up in the desert.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, man, I got contacted by these TV producers and all this shit that wanted me to be involved. I said, fuck that, man. I have nothing to do with that. Keep that shit away from me, man. I don't want my name attached to that whatsoever.
But they were good. Like I said, but it's like King said, sometimes we reminisce sometimes about the old days. And as you said, I'll see comments, you old guys just need to face the facts. You're old and this and that. But I think it's like even John said on some of the shows, because we lived that era and lived that time and other people are never going to get to experience it, you sort of miss it. Yes, I know things are different now with the internet, which is good and stuff like that. It's a whole different time. But sometimes you wish these new young guys now could have experienced what it was like going to Gold's, what it was like when all the guys were in the same gym and you had that atmosphere and the way it felt, the photo shoots and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, because like I said, today is great with the internet, but still, I don't think they're ever going to get that feeling we had of doing a photo shoot, getting on the covers of magazines. Yes, putting your picture on your Instagram page is great. You get lots of likes, you get lots of comments, people stroking your dick and shit. But walking into a magazine shop and wow, look, there's my picture on the magazines, and you'd put all your magazines up front, and then you'd go pay for it, hoping they recognise it. They never recognised me. They never recognised me because I was in contest shape on the cover. When I go to buy the magazine, fuck me. They're like, what?
Yeah, but it goes back to what I said about being the rock stars. We really were fucking stars, man. I mean, I remember going to many after hours, go to the Nationals, and the pros, we'd walk through the audience in a crowd, and people will be like, just like they wouldn't even know what to say to you. I went to after hours, and girls would cry when they saw you, and my boyfriend loves you. Like,
I know.
I mean, it
was like awkward,
next
wasn't it?
level shit. Or when we had our all, JM will tell all the pros to show up for a photo, NPC activewear photo shoot. And it was like a camaraderie. You just don't have that shit. Like you said, Lee, the internet is good and has a lot of bad to it too, man. A lot of bad to it.
Well, the good thing
they
is...
say, that's the thing. That's the thing I think. Like, even though... sorry, Dave, but even like I was saying, even though, like I said, you and Craig had that thing, there's still that respect because he's a bodybuilder, you compete, you're training that. But that's the thing today. They say that we don't like and we don't think. But I find today with the internet, because there are trolls and haters, it's like you might not like someone, but you still respected what they did. But now I find there's more hate and more like... Even these people coming up now will hate someone for being there. I could never understand this. Like, wait a minute, you're putting this guy down, but you're training. You want to be a pro. You're hating on somebody who is where you want to get to. I don't understand that. Back in the day, you'd walk in. If you've seen a bigger guy, he might spot you. You might spot him. You might ask him for information. You'd do that sort of thing. But now people walk into a gym and see someone, they're like, oh, look at him, fucking steroids. That's all he does. I could look like that. I said, with the internet, there seems to have this so much hate and animosity too towards other people when they're how you want to be, but yet you're putting them down. It's like this whole thing that goes on with Mike O'Hearn. Who cares if he's natural or not? Well, I've never seen him inject, so I don't care. But to look that good at 50 still and still be out there, that consistency over almost 40 years, busting your ass in the gym day after day, eating. These kids out there talking shit online could never do that. They couldn't last a month doing what he does. So I don't get all these haters. Like, if you hate people that much in the sport that much, why do you follow me, follow King, or follow the sport? I don't like tennis. I don't follow tennis, and every time Nadal goes live, fuck, Nadal's on, your backhand sucks. You fucking shit. You couldn't play tennis if your life depended on it. Stick the tennis racket up your ass. Yeah, fucking Serena Williams could beat you. Yeah, Serena Williams, she's a girl, but she could beat you. So I was like, I couldn't have the time to do that. But yet this internet just has so many haters rather than being positive. And
you're right.
People say I'm negative and come down. I think, but I do it in a joke around way. I'm never negative towards anyone. I give them more credit than anything. But yet, because I joke around, they're like, Lee, you're being negative towards you. I'm like, I'm having a joke, people. Learn the difference.
People have no sense of humor nowadays. That's what the problem is.
Oh, you can't have a sense of humor.
Back in the day, no one knew. There was no venue. There was no outlet to actually post your comments anywhere. So people might have been hating, but you didn't hear it because the only place...
Yeah, but I don't think so. But even though when a magazine come out, that's when you'd see, like, say a magazine come out and you'd finally see him and you're with your mates, you'd be like, oh, shit, look at this contest here. Fuck, he looks good. He looks good. You didn't sit there with your mates going, oh, he's a fucking arsehole. Look at him there, fucking this, fucking that. Unless maybe you got second and he got first. Oh, the fucking cut. Look at his legs. Look at his legs. Come tell me, friends. Look at his legs. I beat him, didn't I? It'll be one of those shots where he's in a pose. How many of those in the magazines? But you could never go back on it. You'll see him now pop up and someone goes, Lee or King, your legs were smooth in this shot. But it's like the guy beside you is in the pose. He's flexing his quad. You're not quite in the pose yet, but the photographer's taken the picture. His legs tense and yours is halfway down. Your legs are way smoother than his. I'm like, I'm not fucking flexing them.
Well, Dave, don't you think that one of the biggest problems that we have right now is these nobodies who have millions of followers, where Dave Palumbo has 1 million. This idiot goofball from Russia has 10 million. And kids are listening to these people.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's a huge fucking problem?
It is what it is. You know what I mean? I guess, people, you would think that if you're like you know what it is? I believe that the true hardcore fans of the sport watch what we do and still follow us. They want to know the history and everything like that, and they respect us. But the problem is that 90% of the people who are like watching these videos, if you watch some of these YouTube channels that get like 100,000 views per thing, 90,000 of those people are really not hardcore fans. They're casual fans that are kind of enamored by the whole, muscle thing, and they're really not into competing, but they kind of like to watch and follow the sport voyeuristically. So those are the people who are making all the crazy, stupid comments. The hardcore fans still are the hardcore fans. There's just not that many of them, and those people I think do respect, the history of the sport. The guys who have forged, the history of the sport, like, guys like us that have been around for, 20, 30 years. But most people are not those hardcore bodybuilders who want to get to that elite level, who know that they have to follow and listen to what we say and educate themselves and stuff like that. So it is what it is. It's a mixing pot I
find the best way to judge it is when you look at, like when I do these shows, I read some of the comments on YouTube, or I look in my Instagram and some of the comments. Nearly everyone that's positive and says positive things about training or whatever, you look at their profile, so I might click over and go, that's a nice comment. I click over, see it. Some might be private. Even their little picture, or if their page is open, always the good comments come from people who you can see are really into training. They've got a somewhat good physique, or you look through their stuff, they've got stuff on there. Every time I get abused, 99.9% of the time, I look at the people and I swear some of them look like they're going through chemotherapy. Some look like they're dying of AIDS, or some just look like greyhounds. I mean, like they look like they've lifted a weight in their life. And I'm thinking, why do you even follow me? It's like, if you click on their profile, it'll be this little fucking bucktooth kid. Fucking steroids. Oh, fuck, mum's coming. I've got to turn the computer off. Sorry, mum. Sorry. It's like they're the ones that give the most shit when you look at their pictures and their profiles. It's like, why do you even follow me? It's like if I looked at you, I wouldn't even know you went to the gym. So, but yet they're the ones that talk the most shit, or they will be on like someone else's YouTube. And they all think, let's go make fun of somebody else. So they just go over in their little swarms and go, look what I said to him. I told off a big muscular guy. Yeah. But King's probably the same. Out of all the time you've got abuse, and people probably know, you train at the same gym, you go here. People know where you are. If you go to do a guest posing, I'll be here. I'm doing a store appearance. I'll be here at this time. In all your years, has anyone ever come to you into your face and said it to your face?
Never. Never. Every time. One time I got threatened to come to Las Vegas, come to this here, blah, 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 blah. And guess who showed up just so he would make sure that I'll be okay? Dave, what was that? A UFC fighter from Long Island. He was one of the original guys. Baroni.
Oh, Phil Baroni, yeah.
Phil Baroni.
Oh, yeah.
And Phil, I didn't even know Phil. And then he contacted me. He goes, bro, I'll be there. Just in case there's more than one, this and that. And guess what, man? I went to train, and he showed up. He was the nicest fucking guy.
Oh, Phil's nice. Phil's a nice guy.
Phil's a good guy, yeah.
I'm going to fucking drop him like it. And I was like, believe me, my friend, nobody, like Lee said, in 10 years, no one showed. They'll show up like the Arnold Classic when you're signing pictures. You'll notice them. They'll stay in the background. And they'll talk to their buddies or their girlfriend, go in their house. They'll never come up. Never.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, when Phil Baroni's there with you, you're thinking, I hope some prick shows up now.
Right.
Hold on, I'm gonna. What you should have done was that's when you start. When Phil's with you, that's when you start shit. Sean Ray, motherfucker, come to the gym, come fucking right now, come to fucking right.
By the way,
he doesn't need Phil Baroni to take care of Sean Ray, that's for sure.
Dave, after our interview the other day, I got a bunch of messages from people saying that Sean Ray was talking shit about me again. So I guess we did a good job.
Go figure.
That'll be next week's show. We'll get you back, King. I'm losing my voice, even worse. I got to wrap this up. Lee, why don't you take us out since I can't speak? You be me.
What do you want me to say?
Wrap up the show. Wrap the show up.
Wrap up the show. Well, thanks, King, for coming on to my show. Thank you, Dave, for sitting in the background with your voice like that. I want to thank all the viewers. Leave your comments in the section here. The ones that don't like us, we don't care, but I'll comment because I hope, Dave, you don't delete some of my comments because I do get rude to them sometimes. So I'm thinking, then I go look back and my comments gone. I'm like, Dave's been editing my comments. But thank you. That's another edition of RX Muscle. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I shall Hey, Judge Dredd.
Wait. Well, Dave, one thing
Yeah.
before Judge Dredd sends us off. I do want to say to everybody out there that please be, I explained last time on Dave's show that my Instagram got hacked, and I'm still trying to work with them and trying to get it back. So don't follow all those people, because I had 100K followers. Forget about the King Kamali. I got a new Instagram page called The Real King Kamali. So follow me on The Real King Kamali. I really do appreciate
All right.
it. Love you.
We'll put
I'm
it up on
glad.
the
I'm glad
screen.
you said that. I'm glad you said that, because I looked on there the other day and I'm like, there's the King Kamali. There's the real king. Now, is the real king someone pretending to be the other king?
I'm doing my best to get everybody.
Titus
back again. You know how Facebook is.
hacked him from jail. That's all there was to it.
Sean Ray hacked him. Sean Ray did it.
All right.
Sean Ray.
Well, thanks everybody. Tune in next week.
Join
on
us
RX
next
Muscle.
week, King again.
Hey, I'm doing this show.
All right. You do.
Join us next week on RX Muscle, and we'll see who we got on. Lee will be back to upset everybody. King might be back. Everyone will be back. Who cares?